So, I hear you say, what is an Audi TT RS? Well, it's basically an Audi TT Mark II 8J with a Gen 4 Helldeck system Quattro on steroids. It comes standard with 4-pot Brembo calipers and bigger brakes. It also has a more aggressive style front bumper and honeycomb grille. The rear bumper is also different with a more aggressive rear diffuser, and it comes with a fixed wing also. You are reminded that you're in an RS by all the badging plastered all over the car. It definitely doesn't want you to forget that. It has satin wing mirrors and even the optional Recaro wingbacks with TT embroidered all into it and into the door cards. But the most important part is the legendary 5-cylinder engine, 2.5 litre turbocharged, producing 335 brake horsepower, with the later Plus versions pushing 360 brake horsepower. Audi also felt the need to have 3 bonnet catches. So welcome back to another video. This is my Audi TT RS and I have now owned it for a year. So let's get it in the workshop, give it its annual oil change, and let's see what that year's actually been like and whether you should buy an Audi TT RS. As you can see, under the bonnet or the hood, if you're in the US, I've kept it all completely standard. A lot of people put the intakes on, and obviously the Plus models come with this is carbon and that is carbon and all sorts of things like that. But I just wanted to keep mine looking pretty standard. And it seems to be quite rare to keep it looking pretty standard. But I think it's a great looking engine, whatever you decide to do to it. Nice little things like this, putting a nice new coolant reservoir in there. It does freshen it up under here, and it does still make it look nice and new. Same for new oil dipstick. So I did go around looking at a few RSs before I bought this one, and actually this was the first one that I looked at. I actually went back to go and see it again, and I'm glad I did, because obviously it was the one I got and it was the right one for me. But yeah, so 12 months, where's those 12 months gone? You're probably asking yourselves the same. This year's gone so fast. But yeah, absolutely loving the RS so far. But it's time for its annual oil change. When I got it, first things I set about doing was giving it a complete overhaul with like maintenance, getting that all up to scratch. So this is where we've done a full service on it here. And additionally to even doing bits like that, slowly over time, I've done a few little bits more, which I haven't put on camera, but I may have put one post on my Instagram and stuff like that. Things like replacing the PCV. It wasn't giving me any problems, but it's just preventative maintenance. So I just thought for the price, I will just change it anyway. So it's got a new one of those, and I put a nice new coolant bottle in there with the 2 new silicone tube things inside, because that's how it's supposed to be. People say you don't need them. People say they cause havoc. I know the bags of silicone cause havoc, but the tubes are actually okay. But I did it all properly. So I want to keep this car as nice as possible. Even things like this, I put a new charcoal canister on it. There was nothing wrong with the old one, but do you know something? For the price that I can get these for, it's, you know what I mean? it's worth changing. I think from Audi they're a couple of £100, but you can get them other places for a lot cheaper, for under £20. I mean, you can see where it's had the Audi stuff all rubbed off anyway. But at the end of the day, it's just a plastic container with carbon in it, so you know what I mean? It's not the most sophisticated piece of equipment. I also changed the thermostat on top of the gearbox for the DSG because my temperature was taking a little bit too long to get to 90 for my liking, but it was getting there and it was staying there. So I have changed that and it has actually made a difference and the car's been pretty good. I mean, the main thermostat is down here. I don't know if I can get it on there. It's sort of down there somewhere. And I actually do have one. So when the time comes, I will actually be changing that out. But so far, it's been behaving itself. So I'm not going to change it if I don't need to. But it's nice to know that I've got the part for when I do need to do it. Right, let's get this up in the air and start getting the old oil out. So let's remove the cap. We'll pop that over here. I have to lower this because the ceiling height. So with the car all up in the air, well, the old sump's looking a little bit crusty. I might have to put a bit of touch up on that. Let's remove the under tray. Let's see what the oil's like after 12 months. I do think I have done less than 3,000 miles in this, but we'll see how many miles I have done when we get a look in the service book. So let's get this under tray off. Right, so with the under tray off, let's have a quick look underneath here. Not too much going on really. It's all looking pretty good. It's a shame about that. I'll probably just put a little bit of paint over that because that does look a bit shabby. So might just give that a bit of love. But overall, not too much to talk about this end. So if you're seeing some of the videos, I have actually got the black Powerflex lower gearbox insert in here. That's in one of my videos. Also changed the fluid in the front differential, also known as the bevel box. And that also includes doing the rear one as well. So there's a video on doing that. As I said, when I got this car, I literally just done everything on it, including the Heldex, all got changed. So you can see nice new filter cover on there. So that's all been done. Mark IIs do suffer from these going crusty. So I did replace those and they are still looking good 12 months later on. And then I put the 034 Motorsport rear arm, rear anti-roll bar on as well, because the other one was looking crusty. That has been all good, all good. So I might just whack a little bit of this paint on the sump, clean that rust off and do that. A few things on the exhaust are missing, but it was like that when I got it. It sounds absolutely wicked. I do have some Wagner Sports Cats over there. So let's drop this oil out and then we can have a look inside. Same as always, a 19mm. This is all I need for the oil service. Got 5 litres in there, couple of litres in there, left over from the last one, filter and new sump plug. This is where the filter is, and I actually have a new tool. So you literally just screw that into the end here, into the filter. So let me just get that done. And now this will drain the filter housing. With the oil filter housing now drained, I can remove the tool and the sump is now drained, so I can refit a new sump plug and torque that to spec. With that all torqued to specs and a little clean up, it's now time to remove the oil filter housing. So let's undo that, take the old seal out, get a new seal out,
put some oil around it, refit a new seal, put the new oil filter in.
There we go.
I always pre-fill the oil filter housing with some nice new oil. It just stops the engine from starving of any oil on startup. So let's get that back on the car and torque that to spec. Give that a little wipe, tidy it all up. Job done.
It's all looking proper tidy up there. Just want to put a little bit of paint on that. But first, let's get some oil in it.
If you're enjoying the videos, why don't you give this video a like, leave a comment and even consider subscribing to the channel.
So with the oil all topped up and the car checked over and everything looking good, now let's get it back up in the air and see whether we got any leaks. So with the under trays all on, and I did paint the bottom of the engine again. Not the best job in the world, but just a bit of sort of like, you know, underseal, so hopefully that will stop that from rusting out anymore. Maybe I'll revisit that another time. So I couldn't leave it like that. It was absolutely bugging me, so I came back out, got it all back up in the air and done it all properly, and it's come out so much better. It near enough looks like new. Happy days. And I've had a good look around the RS, checked everything else on it, and everything seems to be okay. So let's get it back down on the ground. Let's just double check the oil level now. Just top the screen wash up. So I just need to reset the oil service indicator. So I'm just plugging in my diagnostics. You might not have seen this one before. This is a new one. Here it is. It's absolutely wicked. It is an X-Tool Prodigy. It's not even available in this country yet. But so far, it's been able to do everything that I want it to do. So let's have a look at the service book as well. We can actually see how many miles have I actually done since the last service. Well, look at that. So the last service was the 11th of October. And the car done 75,907 miles since I literally done everything. So, what's the mileage now? It's 78,624. And the date is the 9th. So I've only done about 2,700 miles in the last 12 months, which is not very much. But to be fair, the car is a toy. So it's not my main mode of transport, but yeah, I thought I'd done more than that. 2,700 miles ish since the last full service, and you know something, it's been absolutely spot on. The car's had no issues at all, so I'm just filling out this. So there we go, all stamped up for another year. Oh. Look at that. 2 days off being exactly a year. We had everything. So let me just reset the service indicator on this and we'll jump inside, show you what bits I've done in the inside, and then we'll take you for a drive. So as you can see, my TTRS is in Daytona grey and it's the perfect spec for what I wanted. I've got the 19-inch rotor wheels on, which I think look the absolute nuts, and they suit this car, and they are the right wheels for this car. I think the RS looks very strange without the fixed wing on the back. Some don't have it, and they have the electric one on, but for me, it just doesn't look right. Inside you can see I have the wing backs, which are quite a desirable spec. But very lucky to get them, and also in very good condition as well. I keep a seat cover on this one most of the time because I'm usually just getting in and out of it just to move the car. And it also comes with like the TT bit, all in here, and also in the seats, as you can see, there and there. So the bits I've done, let's put some light on. So the one thing this car didn't have was Bose, so I got around that by fitting the Alpine Sound Plus system, which I'm pretty sure was only available in Germany, which is a collaboration between Audi and Alpine. So it comes with an Alpine amp. You get the speakers up here like the Bose ones, new speakers here, new speakers here. It's called the SPC 400 kit anyway. So very, very glad I've done that because it sounds absolutely wicked. So now it's got that, and it's a nice rare option because you're not really going to find another RS in this country with that. Well, I don't know of any. Also, nice other little mods I've done. I've got the Pioneer SPC 77 head unit. Absolutely wicked. Makes it all nice and modern. You've got your Android Auto, your Apple CarPlay, all that jazz. And I started adding bits of carbon. So I had all these made by a guy called Dave Nubb, who's the absolute nuts at doing the carbon. He sold loads of bits now because he is the best at doing this. He does them for Mark 2s and Mark 3s. I think he might do some bits for Mark 1s as well, but you can find him on Facebook and Instagram. But yeah, it's a nice carbon there. I think it just blends in nice with the door card, and you still have that bit there, but that's all good. But I think that just nicely just blends in. And also he does the center console bit here as well. So all nice carbon, looks wicked. It's proper carbon as well. It's not a sticker. He proper overlays, you know, the fabric and clear coats it. It's all proper stuff. And obviously once I'd done all that, I was itching for the steering wheel to get done. So I've also done the steering wheel. Nice new steering wheel, all matching. It's just like a really, really nice place to be in here now.
Unfortunately, I had a cold while filming this.
So let's get on the road and let's talk about, should you get one and what is happening in the market with RSs? Because I've seen some go up for silly money and I've seen some go for stupidly low money. So let's hit the road and let's talk about what the market's doing, and is now the right time to go and get yourself an RS. So as I said, I've had this car for a year now, and when I first got it, I literally done everything: full service, Heldex service, DSG service, front and rear diff service, literally everything, so I knew it was all done. And it's been a really good, reliable car for these last 12 months. Literally not one problem. And as I said earlier in the video, I've done a few other little things, like replacing the carbon canister, which if you don't and there's an issue, usually get an EVAP fault for flow. So I've done all that, and obviously I've done the PCV thing. There's no signs it was failing, but I did it anyway because the car is a 2011, so you got to appreciate it's still 14 years old. It'll be 15 next year. So all these bits are worth doing. So I know that I've got a nice, reliable car, and I've done everything to it that I can do. New rear arms, new things. I've done a lot of things to this, and I know it's a good car. There's still a few little bits to do, like the tyres. I want to get them changed up. And I probably want to rebuild the front calipers at some point also. But Should you buy an RS? Well, the prices at the moment seem to be a little bit all over there. I've seen them going for 10 grand for a high mileage manual version with not many extras, quite a basic sort of one, but still an RS. But then I've seen them going for, I think the top ones are going for around about 27, and for 27 grand you're getting something which is a very late one, like a 2013, 2014, which will be the plus model, so it has the 360 horsepower, not the 335 like the earlier ones before 2012. And for that, also around about that 27,000 miles, you expect it to be fully loaded, wing backs, completely stock, full service history, and with like under 30,000 miles. That seems to be where the top money ones are. Your average one, you're looking at around about 15,000 up to 20,000, but I think for 15,000 you're going to get a good one. You're going to get something under 100,000 miles with some nice kit, with some nice service history, and just a really well looked after example. Obviously, being the DSG models seem to fetch more than what the manuals do. The gearbox on the DSG is brilliant. It's the DQ500, which is the 7-speed box, and I have that in here and it's absolutely wicked. But as I said, you can get them as cheap as 10 grand, but it's going to be a high mileage one. It might have had a little bit of missing service history here and there. It might be a bit abused. It might need some money spending on it. But if you're willing to spend the money on it, it could be a good option to go for, just to get an RS. But you still got to remember, these were like 40, 45, 50 grand cars. So there is something called an RS tax, and I'll tell you, it's a real thing. Lots of things on this are shared with the normal TT, but it also has a lot of things that are different, and they do cost a bit more. Let's take a set of spark plugs for instance. So a nice set of NGKs for a 2 litre TFSI, you're looking at around about 40 to 45 pounds for some nice top quality spark plugs. With the RS, there's not many options. It's either go for a standard set, which you can only get from the dealer, which are £150 for a set. Yes, there is another spark plug because there's another cylinder, but it's more than 3 times the amount of just getting a set for a TFSI. There is other options like the NGK racing ones, which are a good option. They're a slightly colder plug, I believe, and I think they're just over 200 for the set. So for stage 1 cars, any sort of mapped cars, they are the go-to sort of plug that I've seen people go for. I mean, you could probably put them on a standard one if you want, and you shouldn't really have any ill effect. Another thing is, I've got the main thermostat. I've got that ready for when I ever need to do one of them. I do have it in stock now. Normal thermostat for a TFSI, 45, 50 quid, 160 quid for an RS. So you can see there is a price difference. Even on the coolant bottles, they are actually slightly different, and I can't remember if it was about 50 or 60 quid, or maybe even £70 for the one on this one, and the standard ones are like £30. So yeah, RS tax is real. Insurance, not too bad really. I pay just over £400 a year fully comp, but it's capped at 5,000 miles a year and all modifications are declared. As we can see, I don't even do 5,000 miles, so I'm pretty safe with doing that, and I am in my early 40s. Road tax, I think it's just over £30 a month, so it's like 300 and something pound a year. So not the end of the world, but I will put it up here if I've got that wrong. So not crazy amounts. So I do think the RS is going to be a great investment. I think for under 100,000 mile ones with good service history, being looked after, not being played around with too much, are going to fetch the most money. You will see a few owners on these because people do change hands with them quite often because they buy them and then realise they probably cannot afford to actually maintain them. But yeah, I think in 10 years time, I think RSs are going to be a 30 grand car. So whatever is a 15 grand one nowadays, I think will be a 30 grand car in 10 years time. That's my opinion. And where I've seen other cars in the past markets change, I've just got that strong feeling that the RSs are going to be a 30 grand car. 5-cylinder sounds absolutely wicked. I think anything with the 5-cylinder is going to fetch a premium in years to come and be a very sought after car. I don't know whether I'm ever going to sell mine. At the moment I've got absolutely no plans on selling it. It's a cracking car and there's still bits that I want to do. I want to refresh all the suspension. There's nothing wrong with it, but for the age of the car it'd be nice just to make it all freshen up. Luckily for me, my car doesn't have mag ride. I can't stand mag ride. It's just something waiting to go wrong. You see, my friend's here is TTS mag ride, so we fixed that by just getting rid of it really. So it's quite nice knowing I don't have that and I'm not going to have to worry about it, and I'm not going to have to put mag ride delete kits on it and resistors and do stuff like that. I can literally just put some better suspension and have no warnings on the dash and nothing to worry about. Still watching the video after this time, then you are probably either seriously thinking about getting an RS, and if you are, I would say go for it. And my advice to you is to find something with the best history, lowest miles if you can. If you can get something around about 70,000-80,000 miles or less, I think that's a nice little sweet spot. Get a DSG if you can, because they are going to hold their value more, but obviously you will pay a bit more for that in the first place. And just enjoy the car. To sum up my 12 months of being an RS owner, I can't complain. Nothing's gone wrong. Everything works as it should. I've not had any problems with it. People talk about the injectors going. Yes, that is something, and it has been well documented, but these cars are of age, and obviously the carbon build up as well is something. These are things that I'm looking to get done with mine, because I've got no history of the carbon ever being cleaned and the injectors ever being refurbished or even changed to the later L1s that what people put in. So it's definitely something I would consider doing. But yeah, definitely go and get one. Absolute cracking car, and for the money, what else can you get for around about, well, as I said, as low as 10 grand, but I probably wouldn't want to touch the 10 grand one unless you want to throw another 5 grand or so on it, because they can be expensive to fix when they go wrong. That 10 grand car could turn into a 20 grand car very, very quickly, and you might as well have just bought a 20 grand car which would have had lower mileage, been a bit newer and been a better spec. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Please leave comments down below if you've got any questions about the RS, you want to see anything on it, or you are thinking about getting one. You can contact me over my socials as well if you've got any questions regarding you wanting to get one. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.